Hi everyone, Forrest here. It's mid-December, it's rainy out, a little bit chilly, not too bad for being in zone 5, so no complaints here. But since it's icky out and a little on the cool side, I wanted to talk to you guys about how I take care of my house plants and I get rid of some pests that I don't like. Normally what I do, I visit my plants every day. I take my spray bottle around and I spritz them and I check in and say, hey, how you doing today? And my little Dicinia friend here says, I'm not feeling so good. I've got these little white fuzzy things all over my leaves. And I'm like, oh, poor baby. And I'll pull them off. And they are quite sticky. But I prefer to manually do things than chemically do them. I'm not big on chemicals in any part of my gardening practices and in the food that I prepare for myself and my children. But I wanted to show you how we can take some more active steps and be a little bit more aggressive. I've had this plant for about 2 years now, and she's always had this problem with the mealy bugs. So I hope you guys can see this right here. Right there, that white spot, those are mealy bugs. Now my infestation never gets really bad. If you see like the white fuzzy stuff coming down the leaves, and then you've got a pretty bad infestation, but they are pretty easy to get rid of. Again, the manual removal by just taking your fingers and going down the leaves, and then you can come back and spray the plant. And I do have a 2-part spray that I'll do if I have a really bad infestation. This will also work outside, but I use it differently outside than I do inside. There is different amounts that I put in. So like this right here, let's see if you guys can see that. There. See how it looks like dust, really. Instead of flocking your Christmas tree, your plants are flocked. But yeah, it's really quite sticky. And the first spray that I use, I just got these new spray bottles today, by the way. I have 2 of them, and there's 360 sprayers. I'm supposed to be able to use it upside down. Is that cool or what? Because a lot of times you have to get underneath the leaves with the spray that you use, and it's kind of hard to do because you only know, you got like 4 pumps, and then it starts going to make that ring noise. So I just get in where they're at, and mealy bugs like to be deep down in the cracks of the plant, and I'll get in there and I'll spray in there. This mixture is alcohol and water. That's it. It's 1/2 cup of rubbing alcohol to 4 cups of water. 4 cups just barely fit in this sprayer, and then I shake it up. That's all that is, okay? And it's not going to hurt the plant. Ooh, there's another spot. But it will dry up the hard shell on the bugs. A lot of bugs have like a hard waxy coating on them, and this will help remove that hard waxy coating that's on the bugs. Now the second spray I use kind of goes against a lot of what I talk to you guys about. A lot of people that are on my Facebook, I'm like, don't use that oil stuff. Well, this has oil in it. So but what this is I call it my killer cooking oil, and this one's my alcohol Avenger. But in the killer cooking oil, you've got 2 tablespoons of the oil and 3 teaspoons of the soap and 2 cups of water. Yes, that's right. But don't get hung up on, oh my God, what type of cooking oil did she use? What type of dish soap did she use? You know, it doesn't matter. Just this was vegetable cooking oil. This is whatever dish soap I had that I got on sale, and that's it. Don't get hung up on that. But when I was talking about the oil that's in there, I will let this sit a while if I have to use it. Most of the time, my manual removal and using a little bit of the alcohol will get rid of the problem or will lessen it to a livable degree. I've had this plant for 2 years with the mealybugs, and it's doing fine. It's really, really a beautiful plant. You can't really see how huge it is. Um, my cat likes to nibble on the ends of the leaves. She gets in trouble for it a lot. But anyways, getting back to that. Plants have mouse on their leaf called stoma. And the Greek word for mouth is stoma. Um, and they take in the carbon dioxide through there to create the photosynthesis. I can never say that word. Which is pretty much them taking in the gas of carbon dioxide, turning it into a sugar to feed itself and make new babies for growth. So in that process, if we're putting and spraying down all the leaves with this oil and making it shiny because then it looks like a healthier plant, eventually, and it may take a while, and by a while I mean a year, depending on how much you love spraying that oil on there, for that plant to suffocate to death. Yep, that's what you're doing. The stoma kind of look like our mouse. They're like lips, and they will get really nice and full and plump when the plant is taking in the carbon dioxide and breathing out the oxygen for us. Thank you. And when plants start to dry up or get dry, their mouths will close. And you think, well, they can't breathe then. Well, it's just like a little bit, and it's because they're getting too dry. And they lose a lot of moisture through the process of them breathing in and breathing out. And that's why our plants will look kind of droopy and sad when they're thirsty. And of course, give them a good water and give them a nice spray, and they'll be happy once again. Another thing I wanted to talk about, first I want to give you the main bugs that you'll get inside on your houseplants. That's going to be aphids, mealybug scale, leaf miners, white flies, and those soil gnats that you get. All those can be taken care of with these two spray things I told you about here. Oh, I want to try that upside down, see if it works. I'm going to do it over here. I don't have any plants over there. It kind of works. I'm going to have to, I'll let you guys know how really good that does work. But I was talking about the soil and what you need to do for the gnats that live in there. The best thing to do is to let your soil dry out. Those gnats love it wet and dark and moist. And so that's just like a perfect place for them. Make sure you're checking the trays underneath your plants. I know a lot of us, the humidity thing, we want to put the rocks under there with the water. That's fine because they can't live in that water, but they can live in that soil. That's where they lay their eggs at, and that's where the babies come out from. If you remove the top inch of your soil, maybe even 2 inches, you don't want to damage any roots, but you want to take some of that soil out of there. Just get rid of it. You can compost it and stuff because the other bugs are going to eat those in your compost. And then add sand on top of it. Sand is very porous. The water runs through it very quickly. That's why we don't use it a lot in our plants, because we don't want them to dry out in the roots, but we want some in there so they don't get bogged down and all wet and mushy. But the bugs will not live in that sand. It's not comfortable for them. Their babies aren't getting the food from the soil, so they won't lay their eggs in there. So you're kind of stopping that cycle. You're going to see some more because that cycle is going to continue on, but they're going to get less and less and less. So don't be like, oh my God, Forrest, they're still coming. You said to do this and they're still coming. Well, everything has to cycle through what it's doing. And those older gnats will die off, and those other ones won't be able to come up and out and become the next gnats to lay more eggs in your other plants all around the house. If you have any questions or you want me to go further into anything else, I'd be more than happy to. Just send me a message down in the bottom. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy your holiday, and I'll see you in the next video.